Hello everybody, my name is Sam, and today we're doing another Rust Fasttrack. So Rust Fasttrack is massively overdue, and today we're going to be talking about enums, or enumerated data types. So let's jump right into it. We will make a new package called enum to demonstrate. You'll notice a change in my recording setup, so if there's a quality drop, that's probably why. There shouldn't be though. It should just be nice for me to work and you to work. So, got our standard default project, going to delete the printline hello world, and I'm going to jump straight into making an enum. Now, what's our enum going to be? Well, our enum is going to be of shapes. So we're going to have our enum be shape, and it's going to have a circle, it's going to have a triangle, it's going to have a square, and it's going to have a pentagon. Okay, and we are going to, let's create some stuff. So let's say let my circle equal shape circle, and let's do a square equal shape. We will do square. Okay, now let's say we want to, let's just show that this runs. So we'll show that that creation method works, it compiles and it runs. It complains that a ton of stuff is never used, but it works. Okay, so next up, let's say we're going to print line, and we're going to do a debug print of, let's do my circle, and we're going to, so this won't work because if we run this, you will see blah 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 blah. The trait core format debug is not implemented for the type shape, so we need to get shape to implement it. This is a really easy one because we can just have it automatically derived. So if we save, we can now run again, and you can see that our debug output prints circle. Let's just do this again, and we will change this to square, and run, and you will see we get circle and square as our output down at the bottom here. Okay, so that's all well and useful. Let's show where this really shines, and where this shines is passing them around, because these are both the same type. So we could say they're also literally just some data values, which means I believe we can derive copy for them, which I will do just to make this easier. Having everything that can be copy is always a good thing. What copy does is means when you pass off to a function, the ownership isn't transferred, it's just copied, which is, I actually don't know if it's any less efficient. I would assume not, but it's what's done with all the primitive data types, which is why you don't see sort of like reference to I32 very much, because it's just a number, you just pass it around. Okay, so let's say we're going to create a function which will be print number of sides, and this function is going to take some shape, and it's going to do nothing, and it's not going to return anything. It's going to return a unit type, but we'll get onto that in a second. So what are we going to do? Well, we need to find out what shape is. So let's match against our shape. Okay, and here I would have to say like shape circle, but that's breaking the rule of don't repeat yourself. So what we're going to do is we are just going to use everything in shape. And so now we have actually just exposed circle, which we will print 1. That should be a comma. Okay, and then we've got triangle, we've got square, and we've got pentagon, and this will be 5. Okay, so now if we say print number of sides in a, let's find out how many sides my square has. we get an error. In order to implement copy, you have to implement clone. And we got back 4 as our result. So you can see that this works. Now, the whole reason I did use shape : : here was to make it so that I didn't need to put it before each of these. Well, you notice we're also breaking don't repeat yourself with this print line. Now, Rust is what's called an expression-based language, which is something I haven't talked too much about before, but it means everything has a return. Now, you might be thinking, well, this print line doesn't have a return, and this print number of size doesn't have a return, and actually it does. They return what's called the unit type, which looks like that, and is essentially an empty tuple. Match, at the moment, will return whatever the return of your branches is. So here we'll just be returning a unit type. But if we just change all of these to, 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, and 5, what we could say up here is print line, and then the thing we're going to print is going to be our matched shape. And now this code will run exactly the same, and we should get back 4. And we do, we get back 4. And so this is using the fact that Rust is an expression-based language to cut down on the amount of times you have to repeat yourself. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is how these can actually have values inside them. So we're going to add a with sides and then a usize. And what this means is that we can say, even though it's not representable in here, we can say, let my big O-gon equal shape with sides 100. And so now we are building a 100-sided shape. Now, if we try and run this, you notice we get a complaint. Non-exhaustive patterns, because with sides isn't actually covered in our match statement. So we're going to say with sides n needs to print n. So what we're doing here is we are essentially, I call it unwrapping, though that's technically not the right term, but we're unwrapping this value of n. We are using a pattern with sides n, where we're saying the value we get there is n, and then that's what we want to return. And so now if we try and print my bigger gon, we should get back 100, and we do. And so this has been a quick demo of enums and match. We're going to do something else. We're going to, for the first time, duck into... Actually, no, we're not. No, we're going to end it here. This is a fast track. It'll be a quick episode. We've talked about enums. I've shown you some derived syntax, but I believe I've shown you that before. I've shown you how enums can hold a value. I've shown you how to use match on an enum, and how you're able to extract wrapped values in an enum. This has been episode 6, I think, of Rust Fast Track, and I'd like to thank you all for watching.